Tonight, we have a positive brother that's in our community doing what he does, doing the ministry mandate of God with us, and his name is Marc Danyell. And I got to say, before we even get started, Pastor Thomas, you know, we see a lot of artists, we see a lot of entertainers, right. And I'll be honest, I'll listen to like 30 seconds of a CD, and then I'll just, you know, move on to the next one, so I can say, I'll listen to it.
That's right.
I do that, y'all. You got to capture my attention in 30 seconds.
That's right.
But I did have an opportunity as I was driving to listen to Marc's CD, and the title was titled Close to You. And, you know, just being close to God is very important to me. And I must say this, Marc, and I don't say this to a lot of individuals, not only did I tremendously enjoy your CD, but you have stuck in your music so close to the title. You know, and many people don't do that. You might have one song that says, you know, the name of your album, but just, you know, when I thought about it, I was like, okay, how is this going to get me closer to God? That was really my initial thought process. Right. But as I listened to the CD, everything reflects getting closer to God. So welcome to the Power of Gospel, and let's just get it in. And how did you come up with this CD?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you and bless you for listening to my album, giving me this opportunity. You know, the album itself, the idea came from just my personal walk with God. I'm in a place where, you know, a lot of things is happening in the world and just so much chaos and so much change. I just have to, you know, take a step back and say, where am I with you, God? Mm-hmm. Where is my relationship with you? So I wanted to take the time to just really reflect on who God is to me, what He's done for me, and essentially how can I get better at being close to Him.
And you know what? I got to tell you that you met that objective.
But tell me this: how have your peers received your CD release? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What kind do they still? Because you seem like a real nice guy. I don't know you, but I mean, do they still treat you that way, or do they sort of, you know, look at you sort of strange?
I think I guess the most touching comment that I've had about the album was, you know, it was this guy, one of my good friends. He came up to me and said, you know what, I don't really listen to gospel, but this right here, I could bump this in my car. I can relate to this. It's not something that's just preaching down my throat, right. The Bible, but it talks about intimate relationship. And I think that's the important thing. You know, it's not your traditional gospel album. Okay.
Number 3, you like that one? I was sitting there, I was like, oh, Brother Mary, wait till you hear it. It's just like, you know, it's going to be all, you know, you ain't supposed to necessarily be real bold with that way, you know. Because, you know, they add him when that's all like, that's to her. And then it's like, I know that. I know that. It's one of those, all him, you know, when you hear it. I'm like,
That's twist it around somebody who wants to play.
So, Marc, I'm just wondering, you know, what words of encouragement or what can you say to our community, our youth in today's society?
Yeah, to the youth, I would just say it, and I see I'm in that middle age, you know. You know, I'm in that tween age, so for the young...
Tween what? I'm sorry.
I'm a tweeter. But to the youth out there, you know, the most important message is, you know, first and foremost, God is still real. He's still relevant today. But your praise doesn't have to match the praise of your parents.
I know. Ooh, what does that mean? It sounds good. Before I put a title on it, go ahead, because I think I can preach that. What you say?
Essentially, what I'm saying is, you know, one of the things that we see in the church is there's a traditional movement, and they try to keep just the church in a box. Mm-hmm. But the church evolves just as the world evolves. So as the young people are coming up and they're changing and the world is changing, you don't have to be afraid to praise God in the way that you feel is right.
And also, you think that, you know, Pastor Thomas is
Yeah, teach me, because I'm trying to connect to my young people.
I mean, they're a bold generation. Yeah. That's the thing I could say about my generation and the generation that's coming up. You know, they're not afraid to stand on whatever they believe.
Right.
And if you match that power with the power of the gospel, I think this world still has a chance.
And the other thing, speaking about the boldness, because a lot of older people, a lot of adults, think that when these young people speak up, that they're being disrespectful. And they're really not. They're just trying to get their point across, and that's their style.
And so the question becomes, how do we match the balance between that? Because there is an overwhelming friction that can happen in the church, when people are set in their ways and then other individuals want to, implement what is important to them. Because I'm telling you, I'm older now, so I appreciate church. But back in the day, 5 hours in church was just a bit much when I was a teenager. I'm just saying,
But we don't have to look at friction as a bad thing. Friction smooths out the rough edges. And there's a lot of rough edges in the church that need to be smoothed out. And so I embrace friction. I really like people to engage in it. I want us to learn how to live biblically, and when there's differences among us, to sit down and talk about it and see what it is that we're really trying to achieve. So I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that them being bold is a wonderful thing.
Right. I'll keep my hands to myself. Nowadays is that our young people are not as properly educated to articulate what they feel in such a way that the information can be received in a respectful manner, overall. And so, I'm wondering, Mark, how do you feel about that? I mean, is there a presentation that needs to accompany the fact that, you feel like you have something valuable to contribute?
Yeah, I think that is going to be probably one of those areas where friction may hit the hardest, I would say. Because we do speak different languages between the generations. I think that this is just an area where, prayer and God is going to have to step up, because God can bring...
Whoa. You said God is going to have to step up. I just,
Yeah.
Well, rewind. I just wanted to make sure I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, how was God? You know me. I'm just saying, God got to step up.
As on the day of Pentecost, they spoke, but every man understood in his own language.
Yeah, I didn't even have to go there.
I know, I understand, but God is stepping up by changing people's language.
Giving us the ability to understand and to hear.
But why would God have to step up? Man ought to be able to step up and recognize that, God is sovereign and that He needs to do. It's not anything that He needs to do differently. It's always us that needs to do something.
Handle it.
Anybody, just hold it.
I'll just say this.
You'll concede to that.
No, we're not conceding. We're not conceding. It takes the move of God.
Well, it definitely takes the move of God, but we've got to prompt God into movement, because He's already who He is. Sometimes we got to chase after Him. Because Mark is saying, I'm close to God, I've got to go after Him, because God is already who He is.
But see, when we seek God, I'm going to break it down.
Now you're going to
break it down.
Bring it back.
Tell the difference between hip-hop and rap. Go ahead.
when we're seeking God, God comes back and He shares Himself. If we draw nigh to God, He'll draw nigh to us.
Exactly.
And in that time where He's coming to us, He'll bring those language barriers together.
Absolutely.
So it's not a situation where God has to step in and fix it.
That's all I wanted.
But what He would do is He'll bring
elements in order for unity to happen. I appreciate that, but when you say God,
sometimes God's got to step up and change it.
Just saying. But anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was saying. Essentially, it's all about God just coming into the situation.
Thank you very much.
You like that?
I like that. You've evolved in your way.
It's growth.
Amen.
See, God stepped into this situation.
Hallelujah.
He fixed this communication barrier that we had, this friction, and brought it up.
To get it on again. But the name of the album is titled Close to You. And if people wanted to find out more about your ministry and more about what's going on in your life and what you're doing, how are they able to do that? Yeah,
they can definitely seek out my website. It's www.marcdanyell.com. That's MarcDanyell.com. And they can see everything about my ministry. I'm getting ready to release a website in an hour or so you guys can go ahead and check that out.
Right. You heard it first on the Power of Gospel.
Right here, exclusive.
That's what I'm talking about.